cheated on my husband. Now I want him back. I've been together with my husband for over 6 years. We've been married for 4 years and have a 20-month-old son together. We met through a friend's home party and connected almost immediately. After 2 years, we ended up getting married. We tried having a child and got a beautiful son. He always wished to have a son and a daughter, and we were planning on having another child. As time moved on and the baby was taking more of our time, our spicy sleep life got less and less active, but he always assured me that he was still attracted to me.
You're on Reddit. You don't need to say my spicy sleep life. What is that? You mean your sex life? What's the point in that? You can say sex.
Time he would try to initiate spicy sleep, but I would turn it down, mostly because of myself and because I was insecure about my body and myself around him. When we would go out somewhere, I could see other women looking at him, trying to make eye contact with him, and it would bother me, and I would tell him about it, and he would assure me.
So I cheated. These other women drove me to cheat.
That he only loved me. One day, as he came home from work, long work hours at the hospital, straight to bed telling me he is exhausted, I started looking into his phone and looking in his Instagram and Messenger messages, and I could see several chats with several different women, some of whom are his ex-girlfriends. He had been asked to go meet up for a coffee or if they would want to meet up somewhere just as friends, but he always turned them down. I even saw archived messages of an ex who had messaged him out of the blue and asked if he wanted to meet up for some good times, which is referring to spicy sleep. He had responded with, "I have a wife," and blocked her. Damn, man, as loyal as frick. I really don't know why, but in my head, I started making up that he must have been cheating on me with at least one of these girls. I ended up contacting an ex-boyfriend who I hadn't talked to.
Hold on, what?
Frick. I really don't know why, but in my head, I started making up that he must have been cheating on me with at least one of these girls.
Cope. Cope. Rationalizing.
I ended up contacting an ex-boyfriend who I hadn't talked to for years.
I have this suspicion. Even though I went through his phone and my suspicions turned out to be completely false, I still have this suspicion. I think it's true as well. Even though everything points to it not being true, I still believe it.
One thing led to another, and we met up at a hotel close by. At first, I just wanted to have some sort of payback, but as we ended up having spicy sleep, I was filled with incredible regret.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. So this guy had all these women throwing themselves at him. His wife wasn't putting out, and yet he still declined them all. He still was faithful, and this woman just has this suspicion one day. You know what? I think he's cheating. She goes and looks through his phone. He's not. Clearly he's not. He's turning down these women. It's about as much proof as you could get that this man is faithful to you. And so you go ahead and decide to cheat on him. It's ridiculous. And, it just kind of confirms my suspicion. I guess this alone doesn't completely validate it, but I believe that most modern men are more virtuous and morally sound than modern women. And of course they are. Because modern women have been kind of told that they can really do whatever the fuck they want. They don't really have to be moral. It's kind of like what second, third, fourth wave feminism is all about. Breaking free from any sort of expectation, embracing sexual liberation, breaking free from some supposed oppression. But men, no, we've always been held to a gentleman standard, where these women are not held to a lady standard. And so I think it's safe to say, I really do, that most men are more virtuous than women. I do believe so.
So she decided to revenge on something she didn't have any proof of. In my opinion, she wanted to meet her ex, and that's why she was looking for evidence that her husband was cheating. That would have given her a perfect excuse to justify her action, but interestingly, she met him anyway, even though she didn't find anything.
Think you might be onto something there, Mr. AI.
This all happened during the day, and my husband was at work, and he had no idea and never had a suspicion. It took me 3 days, and as he came home one day, we were in front of the television. I started crying, told him everything. He just kept looking at me but didn't say a word. Went upstairs and locked the door to our bedroom. I followed him and was crying at the door, but he didn't say a single word to me. Took him a long time, but he finally came out, but immediately left the house, and I haven't heard a single word from him.
His silence speaks volumes. His reaction is an indication that he is fully done. At this point, she should have known that he is no longer her husband.
My life is completely ruined. I hate myself more than everything and just wish I can get my husband back. I really don't know how to move on from here. He came home for a few hours yesterday before packing up and leaving again. When he finally came home, he didn't say anything. Went straight to our son, refused to say a word to me even though I kept crying. He told me he wanted some alone time with her son. At first, I thought he came back to see her son and later wanted to discuss, but after some time, he started packing a bag and I panicked. I started crying and begging him to stay to talk about it. I took the advice of being completely transparent and told him I would tell him everything and asked, but he just stood up, looked at me disgusted and cold and told me, I don't want to know anything. I know all that I need to know. Then he just went over and took some more things to put in a bag. I completely panicked and started saying I love him and will do anything to get him back, that I stopped the spicy sleep midway because I felt guilty. In the middle of that sentence, he pushed me to the wall and held my arm and screamed, I told you to shut the F up. I've never seen him so angry, disgusted, and for a moment I thought he would hit me, but he never did. I tried to hug him, but he refused to touch me and told me I am used and broken to him now, and he wants nothing to do with me. This completely broke me inside. I asked what this meant, and he said, we will be getting a divorce.
What did she expect from him after what happened? He probably gave his all to that relationship, and that's why he felt betrayed by this event. You need therapy. There were no signs of him cheating. You cheated and lost him.
That's right, Lori.
This guy gave his all to his wife. He was devastated. I know because it happened to me.
He did.
She self-sabotaged 100%. Therapy is needed. Your marriage may be over, to be honest. Give him space. Perfect
Therapy. Get rid of this garbage. Therapy is not needed. Therapy is not needed. She needs to go back to the drawing board. That's what she needs to do and assess her morals. Why she's like that. I don't know if therapy really provides that.
example of how people sabotage a good relationship or ruin good people due to their own insecurity. A man that won't fight or argue is completely done.
A woman does this walk away and never look back, and I see so many guys making this mistake. If she leaves you for another man and you don't cut her off completely, three things are gonna happen. First, you are throwing your self-respect out the window because you're basically admitting that you were fine being second choice to her first option when things don't work out with him. Second, if it happened once, it will happen again. Third, if you are busy wasting your time on a woman who clearly doesn't respect or deserve you, you might very well be letting your actual ideal partner pass you right on by.
I'm good. I walk away if she doesn't give me an answer or try play games with me. To be honest, I didn't care much. She was my second choice too, so we're cool.
What guy is still chasing after a woman when she chooses a different guy over him? He says he sees that a lot. I don't know about that.
I'm in that situation right now. Please help.
Well, never mind. Well, never mind.
My ex got blocked and
I'm in that situation right now. Please help. He just gave you the help. He just gave you the guidance. What do you mean? Just go walk away, dude.
I'm in that situation right now. Please help.
Oh, that's funny.
My ex got blocked and I would never coming back. Indeed, it will happen again out of experience. I'll never be a second choice again.
If she leaves you for another man and you don't cut her off completely, three things are going to happen. First, you are throwing your self-respect out the window because you're basically admitting that you were fine being second choice to her first option when things don't work out with him.
That is absolutely true. She wouldn't come back if things worked out with their first option, so by accepting it, you would indirectly agree that you are okay being their backup plan.
So I must have misheard this guy when he first started talking. Let me see.
Never look back. And I see so many guys making this mistake. If she leaves you for another man and you don't cut her off completely, three things are gonna happen.
No, I didn't misunderstand him. No.
Deserve you. You might very well be letting your actual ideal partner pass you right on by.
I'm good. I walk away if she doesn't give me an answer or be by your side.
In the next video, we have a man who is battling himself. He no longer wants to be in that relationship, but doesn't know how to leave.
Look at this guy's facial expression. At that point, he was done. He didn't want anything to do with her anymore, but will probably stick around due to kids and other reasons.
Well, I mean, we all have arguments. I don't. That's not a reason to just leave her. These things happen. This is what real relationships look like sometimes. It's not all sunshine and roses. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
He is definitely fighting himself. One side is telling him to leave, and the other is showing him the reason why he should stay. That is not an easy position.
But that is a look of a man who has encountered this scenario many times. This is not the first time, that's for sure.
I know some of you will find this scene familiar. That's the look of, I know I'm wasting my life, but I don't know how to leave. He's doing the math on what it will cost to leave.
He might be doing that. Yes, he probably is.
That's a man that is purely staying for his children. The fact that he's staying patient tells me he did something to deserve this lecture.
Female rationalization at it again.
My wife did this once. I haven't seen her since 1981. What every ounce restraint looks like. Most soldiers have an idea of possible thoughts that were going through his mind at that moment, and we also know that he would disappear from that place if he could do so. That is the facial expression of a man who was already calculating the cost of moving out. He was also calculating the things he would lose after leaving. She was unknowingly pressuring him to make decisions that would directly affect her future. Many guys are in relationships because they want to give their children the opportunity to have a two-parent household, and those are the ones who are more likely to have that type of reaction.
She will regret you for the rest of her life. And let me explain.
Most tend to ignore them, only to act surprised when things go wrong.
She will regret you for the rest of her life. And let me explain. When a woman loses a good man, a genuinely good man, that was loyal, understanding, there for her, was her backbone she felt safe with, she will never be able to forget him due to one fact. Those are not easy to find. And because you were a good man, she thought that it was easy to replace you because you made her think that all men were like that. Until she left you and she got surprised to figure out that you were a rare breed. And she will sit there regretting you for the rest of her life, especially when you don't accept to take her back.
Yeah, but that's that's normal. When it comes to these women, a lot of these modern women, it seems like it's just the grass is always greener. So even if she was still with this guy, who was apparently a great guy and treated her well, you know, she'll probably be thinking about some other guy, or she could have done better. And again, I'm not trying to sound super nihilistic here, but basically what I've observed, and with a lot of the women I've covered on this channel, especially the ones who divorced their husbands and then regret it, it does seem to be the case that a lot of them think the grass is always greener. And so, well, it might be true that as a woman eventually realizes she once had a good guy and now she wants him back, even if she had him, she's still probably going to be thinking, oh, maybe I'm settling for why does he treat me so well? Maybe I could have done better. And yeah, a lot of these, and it's definitely more true if she isn't like a very morally sound woman who would have appreciated that guy initially. So, you know, maybe she'll appreciate the guy, but only if she has strong morals. And that's really not what's preached to modern women. It's not about duty or responsibility or being a good person. It's about freedom, liberation, doing what makes you happy, satiating your senses, engaging in hedonism. These are the things that are preached to modern women. And so it does seem to be the case that this is one of the reasons why they don't really prioritize being treated good.
Nah, she found my replacement 2 days later. No, she won't. That would require her to take accountability for her actions. This is true. My ex has been trying to win me back for a decade now. She came back after 6 months of silence, so I gave her that silence right back. I can feel it in my bones that she's regretting her choice. I am a good man, but I was not good to her.
Well, they'll definitely regret it more and more as they get older and older.
Took too much effort, and at the end,
because they're in that point of life where they actually want the beta bucks now. If, you know, I'm not saying just because you're a good guy and treat her well, that makes you the beta bucks. But it is objectively true that as they get older, they do start prioritizing stability and provisioning. And unfortunately, it's not the case that our women, our Western women, prioritize these things when they're younger, because they aren't told to have families when they're young. They aren't told, right, to find a good man, get married, and have children and start a family young. They're not taught that. They're taught to prioritize career, enjoy sleeping around, go to college, have fun, live out your party years. And then as you get older, there will be a guy there waiting, waiting with some flowers, waiting at the altar. Check out some comments here. This guy says, you will never get the whole story and truth from a cheater. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really buy that woman's story. She probably already cheated, and then she went looking through his phone to justify her cheating, and she's like, shit, I didn't see anything. Now I feel really bad. And then she made up the lie. But, it was an anonymous Reddit post, so there's not really much incentive to lie. So I don't know. She cheated on him for absolutely no reason. That's why I'll be single the rest of my life. I know that it'll happen to me. That's depressing, man. That's sad. They all cheat. Not a woman alive who doesn't cheat. Well, that's... Define cheating. Do you mean physical cheating? Because there are women alive that don't cheat. It's not true. However, does seem to be degrees of cheating nowadays, especially thanks to social media and the direct messages and dating apps. But I disagree. Not all women alive cheat. That's too black pill for me. Many women regret throwing away a good man, but precious few will admit it. Yeah. Probably true. And they're more likely to admit it, or they're more likely to yearn for that man as they get older, I think. When they've got more baggage, they've got more experience, and they can start comparing men. Well, this guy, when I was 22, treated me really well. These 17 other men haven't really treated me as good. I want that guy back.